Hello friends, happy Thrifty Thursday. I hope you're all doing well today. I wanted to just hop on here really quick and share a little something about a way to get a lot of nutrients that your body is likely needing without having to spend a lot of money to do so. So there's a lot of people nowadays who will tout the latest supplement regimen and protocol and needing to purchase all these expensive quality supplements in order to get certain nutrients. Granted, that certainly is viable at times. However, oftentimes, if we don't have the financial capacity to be able to purchase those foods and supplements, then we might feel like we're shit out of luck. So what I wanted to do is highlight how you can actually get your proper mineral balancing, or at least some mineral support, in an herbal infusion. And I don't know if any of you have ever done an herbal infusion or taken an herbal infusion. It's essentially a strong tea, is how I like to think about it. And so today I am highlighting two herbs. The first is nettle leaf, and this herb is lovely. It normally is stingy nettle, so is the common name, and it's best well known for the fact that it stings you if you happen to rub up against it or touch some of its fine hairs. However, that's just a protective mechanism, because in reality, nettle leaf is extremely nutrient dense. It's very rich in iron, it's very rich in other trace minerals, and it actually contains a lot of phytonutrients as well, just like other dark leafy greens. So you can put this herb in smoothies, you could put it in stir fries, just like how I was talking about purple dead nettle being an option for that as well. Nettle is right there along with it. If you blanch it or slightly steam it or even freeze it, then it diminishes and actually negates the stinging aspect of those little hairs. So as long as you're careful when you're harvesting it, it is such a wonderful herb. And so, there's certain times of year when it comes into bloom, and actually this is the time of year where it really starts to grow, and you can harvest some really nutrient rich baby nettle greens, as I like to call them. They're new growth, so they're tender and tend to be a little less tough and fibrous. So this is the time of year that I like to harvest them, if I do. And what you can do is actually, if you have a good patch or a good, or in a space where there's a lot of abundance for this herb, you can just go out and harvest a bunch of it and then dry it, like I have here, so you can use it throughout the year. So for the purposes of today, we're using dried nettle leaf, and we're using 1 cup for our infusion. Now, I like to pair nettle leaf with another herb, which is definitely in my top 3, which is hibiscus. And so I don't know if you've ever had hibiscus before, but it is a beautiful, beautiful plant, and its leaves, or flowers in this case, are delicious. They have a tart, fruity flavor. I wish you could smell them, because they're nice and fruity in aroma as well. And they just impart a really lovely flavor balance to the more earthy tones of the nettle leaf. And so what I like to do is I do 1 part nettle leaf and half a part of hibiscus. So that's simply herbal medicine making terms, where in this case I'm using 1 cup of nettle leaf, so I'm using a half a cup of hibiscus flower. And if you've ever traveled to a Latin American country, you may have been privy to agua de Jamaica, probably my favorite beverage aside from other herbal infusions, and it is so good. It's like drinking an herbal juice, but one that is really good for you. It's high in vitamin C, so it's great for immune support, and it pairs really lovely with nettle leaf. So what I'm going to do today, I'm simply going to take these 2 herbs, and I'm going to put them in my half-gallon mason jar. You don't have to use an amber mason jar like this. This is simply the one that I had available. All my clear jars are in use. So this jar, you're going to put the herbs in. You're going to fill it with just boiled water, which I can hear it almost boiling now. And then you're going to put a lid on it, and you're going to let it sit on your counter for a minimum of 4 hours. That might sound like a really long time, but I actually typically leave this overnight because I like a really strong, rich infusion, and that allows the minerals and other phytonutrients of the herb to disperse into the liquid, which is, of course, what you're going to be consuming. So the reason I'm talking about all of this is because this is essentially a form of nature's multivitamin. You're getting vitamin C, you're getting micro minerals that you likely aren't getting from your food or your water because our soil sources of minerals have been depleted in this day and age, and we're no longer getting minerals from our water sources like we used to, unless you happen to be blessed with being near a natural spring where you're able to harvest some of that mineral-rich water. So, you certainly can purchase trace mineral drops, which is something that I actually use in my water to give me a little more mineral boosting. However, you can also use herbs. And so I bring all this up because right now we're feeling some stress. We're feeling some overwhelm from what is happening in the world right now with the current overarching crisis. And that can be really depleting on our adrenal glands, as well as being really stress-inducing. And so our adrenal glands, which are what we use in order to modulate and support our stress response, they're taking a hit right now. And by having an infusion of nettle and hibiscus, you're actually providing this buoyant tonic for your adrenal glands. And you can have a really amazing adrenal support by drinking 2 to 3 cups of this infusion every day. So if you've never tried herbs or an herbal infusion, I highly recommend starting with nettle and hibiscus. Put them together, steep a nice brew of this infusion, and go ahead and enjoy a little bit of an energy boost. And as you drink it for a longer period of time, you can take it tonically, which means you can drink it for longer periods. You will actually find that your body is able to bolster yourself, to provide a little more energy, a little bit more spunk. And we certainly can use that in this here and now, as well as just generally speaking too. So I hope you all have a beautiful and blessed day. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below.